Hey, it's Soul, and today I'm gonna talk for a little bit on the leveling experience in Dragonflight and how it's gonna change by a lot. I'm gonna share a bit of my excitement for what's to come, which will no doubt kind of make some of us feel even more impatient for its release, or at least for the alpha to come out, or just to get any more information. Leveling, notably new character leveling, is going to change drastically in the next expansion. And I bring this up not because I'm the first person in line, a lot of folks have been talking about this already, but I bring this up because while we're impatiently waiting for the patch 9.2.5 thing and later season 4, some folks have been clamoring for a new race or an allied race because that would be fun. It would be something to do while waiting for Dragonflight. Now, personally, taking a few days, maybe even faster if I tried, but taking a few days to level a new character isn't exactly my idea of killing time. At least, it wouldn't be under the current Shadowlands leveling system. You know, when you start on the faction island place, and then you get to level 10, and then you choose your expansion, then you level through like a zone and a half, maybe, before reaching level 50, and then off you go to the Shadowlands. Each level in the current iteration, you automatically get a thing. It just gets thrown onto your bars. Maybe it makes your buttons change a little bit, but you don't even know about it until like way later sometimes. Now, I know that there's a loud crowd out there who want leveling to be fast because, well, their goal isn't to recapture an epic leveling experience. It's to get that out of the way. And the faster, the better. I totally get that. But I think the WoW team leaned towards that crowd just a little bit too hard. I question whether leveling feels very good these days. Now, it is fast. It does give you something each time that you level, but does it feel good? It's a very subjective discussion there, and I invite you to share your thoughts. I don't think a new race being introduced now, before Dragonflight, before 10.0, would do the game any favors. The new Drakthir race in Dragonflight, that happens to be a hero class, so with a starting level of 58 or so, they have no business in doing previous expansion content. That means only characters made after the 10.0 pre-patch will enjoy what's to come with leveling from scratch. Now, of course, with no alpha client to demonstrate any of this, we're just gonna have to use our imaginations as I try my best to inform you of why Dragonflight leveling is going to be very, very different and potentially very, very awesome. So here's what we know. Veteran players will slam the 1 through 10 experience in their home zone or on Exile's Reach. At level 10, they can then choose any of the previous expansion contents, including Shadowlands, and then progress to Dragonflight stuff at level 60. Players on brand new accounts will also have the same-ish experience as right now, with 1 through 10 on Exile's Reach, 10 to 60 in Battle for Azeroth, and then off to Dragonflight. It's easy to guess why BFA is still the new player template. Like story-wise, it's just a much stronger follow-up to the likes of Exile's Reach. You know, with the whole premise of faction conflict, it's very thematic, as opposed to, what, you leave Exile's Reach and then suddenly you're escaping World of Warcraft hell with characters who you never met. The regular familiarity ends here, though, thanks to Dragonflight's changes at least. At level 10, classes will unlock the new talent system. This is comprised of the class tree on the left, which allows for a bit of hybridization, and the spec tree on the right, which lets one customize their specializations, whatever they are. In a way, the tree on the left lets a druid, for example, do some off-tanking, even if they happen to be a resto spec. The tree on the right lets that resto druid focus more on single target healing, or burst AoE, and that sort. Each time the player levels, they're going to get 1 point per tree. As an example, at level 10, the druid is going to get 1 point that they can spend in the class tree. When they reach level 11, they get 1 point that they can spend in the spec tree. At level 12, they get a point in the class tree again, and that continues until the heat death of the universe, or level 70, whichever comes first. For many of us, our level 60s are going to have 51 points to play with when the 10.0 patch drops, and we can start screwing around. But for those who make new characters, leveling is going to feel like a brand new experience from a gameplay standpoint. I'm speculating this part here, but leveling might take just a little bit longer in Dragonflight than it does in Shadowlands, thanks to the wider 10 through 60 experience that you'll get in Battle for Azeroth or Chromie Time. The idea that players will get something every level will survive the Dragonflight expansion changes thanks to talent points. Something that I think was compromised in WoW since Mists of Pandaria was the notion of celebrating each level gained by, well, stopping for a moment to see what the heck you got while leveling and then making a selection to activate. Today we get, as I mentioned before, like a preset ability, we get a talent or an upgrade of one or the other. In Dragonflight, we're going to get a choice and a prompt to click a thing. Like, what do I put this point into? Am I going to go straight down because I want that certain ability, or should I head back to the top to try some other path? Some levels won't do that because, you're trying to pump like multiple points into a thing. I totally get that. But that opportunity is there to select between different options or even trying out something totally different. Let's say that you're trying to optimize while leveling. Let's say you're that kind of person, and at level 42 or something, you'll be able to get the earliest access to a very strong ability or some synergy, but before you got there, you might have had a totally different build. At the moment, the WoW team has insisted that there will be very few barriers to respeccing, so I figure at your next chance you'll go back to a rest area somewhere out on the field or back in town, you hit a button to reset all your talents, and then you redistribute and try again. And I'm 100% guilty of that practice. Even if it's something as simple sounding as leveling in the world of Warcraft, we can choose to slap points into like whatever and not give a second thought. Sure, we can go for karma points and not make any talent selections like, hey, look at me, I leveled without a single point and here's what happened. I just find it very cool and liberating that we can choose any of these options and make the leveling experience ours. Some would say that the trees are big. And yeah, they sort of are. I mean, it's 18 years worth of World of Warcraft minus pruning. For a level 60 character on the first day of patch 10.0, yeah, this can and probably will feel overwhelming. I trust that half the players are going to be just sitting in town looking at all these damn talents or rereading them because they've been looking at talent calculators for the past couple of months. Or maybe they're slamming against target dummies experimenting, or just running into Mythic Plus because YOLO. But when leveling, you just see the top rows. That's it. Followed by the next rows. Followed by the next rows. It's a very common phenomena that we, as the audience, look at this whole shebang and think, dude, whoa, this is a lot to handle. But it's only being presented to us in a slide or a video. In practice, the experience will be designed towards new players. Now, this is only info that I recall off the top of my head, but one won't be able to just shoot straight down to the very bottom of the tree. You're going to have to put a number of points in before rows open up. So I'm going to argue fiercely that for those who level up a new class, their experience with the talent system between the almost free respecs and changing specializations and loadouts that you can save for later, the talents will not feel nearly as overwhelming as long as that player is willing to take their time and to explore their selections. Meanwhile, others have argued, what's the point of the talent system when top players are going to make their templates and videos and enforce their will on others? Now, first, we're just talking about leveling changes, okay? But since we're here, I might as well address this. It was going to happen anyway. And they're right. Top players, group leaders, and more are going to say that this particular build is superior to the next, and this is the way to play. And well, they're right. I mean, there will be cookie cutter templates for this one type of encounter, or this particular dungeon with the affix, or the PvP situation. But the point of the talent system is not exactly to allow a bunch of these ridiculous builds where all of them must be viable. Even the WoW team has admitted as much. That's an impossible thing to do. But their job is going to be to try. The way I see it, the point of this talent system is to preserve the many, many options that we've gained and lost over the years from pruning or borrowed power. After Dragonflight, it stands to reason that a few more rows will be added, another 10 points will be given to players. And there will be some bloat, no doubt, but the feedback over the past few years has been pretty resounding. WoW needs just a new system after this current one that gives and then takes and then gives and then takes again. The side effects of a cookie cutter mandate, It never went away, they've just looked different for the past couple of years. But the benefits of this talent system give room to preserve design and to teach players new things one level at a time. You see, I managed to circle back to leveling. Nice. So many folks are focused on what max level builds are going to look like, and for good reason, we're all going to get there eventually, but my focus right now is leveling. I can envision the talent system doing so much to teach players about making tweaks as soon as level 10. I'm not talking about decreasing the cast time of corruption by 0.2 seconds either. I'm talking about each choice packing some heat, each choice chiseling a bit more shape into each person's playstyle, and well, that shape can be remade too with just a click. Folks are getting a lot more freedom to choose and learn in Dragonflight the way I see it, and I think that for anyone who is able to test this out on the alpha or the beta later on, test out leveling first. That's going to be hugely important for the experience, and the time and energy put into leveling a new race before Dragonflight, that would be wasted. I also fully anticipate one being introduced anyway in the next couple days, so we'll see. But I'm grateful that you let me fill your ears for a little bit. Please like the video, subscribe for more content, and I will catch you later. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.